digest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Yeah. Hello. I look a bit tall. I'm not this tall. I'm not wearing heels either, in case anyone's wondering. There you go. I shrunk myself down now. I look like a leprechaun ready for tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow is Mario. Would you look at him? There he is. There's Mario, our new manager. Just gonna talk to him later. Good evening and welcome to the Looniest Show on YouTube. Yes, joining me, your host, Looney Toon Dermatron. The only man who thinks Tottenham going to stay up and win the Champions League. And no, we're not winning the Champions League, but we are going to stay up. Welcome to Tottenham Hotspur update news. Well, Tottenham update show, which we've run a few times during the day at 4:00. But I thought, do you know what? I thought, and people have asked for it to come back. People are enjoying it, Tequila. People like these sort of update shows, and people have asked for more of them. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do it as a 4:00 show or an 8:00 show. I'm not 100% sure. I need to speak with the guys, see what they think. But yeah, there will be more of these, and especially at the end of the summer World Cup, there will be update shows every day as we get into our summer content. But Tequila, welcome, sir. How are you this evening, buddy?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm all right. Now, somebody asked me yesterday, what do I do to... What am I now starting to do to get away from Tottenham news? And I've started this. That. I've started now making Lego Formula 1 cars. That's a de-stressor.
Have you just tried getting drunk?
Yeah, it didn't work. You feel like shit the next day. So no, that don't work. And I don't drink anymore now.
Well, it's okay. When you feel bad the next morning, you just drink to make that go away. No?
Yeah, no. Doesn't work. Did try once, but no. I got too friendly with it. It became my new best pal.
If you tried gambling, I'm trying to think of other really bad habits that I could tell you to do.
Yeah, why we don't No.
How can you say we don't condone gambling? Mansion was our shirt sponsor for many years.
No, it was. So was Holston as well, to be fair. Oh dear. But how are you, bud, after yesterday? Do you know, I thought I've left yesterday thinking that was a good point by Tottenham.
It was a good result. I think maybe that we've been so starved of anything even remotely positive that because we didn't totally stink out the joint for once, that I feel like he's papering over the cracks a little bit. And also,
I agree.
As I said yesterday, it also means that this dude's in charge. He's going to be in charge for Forest, and I just I think we might rue keeping him in charge. But...
Well, there is. Look, we have got a few updates, guys. So we are going to get into them. We have got a few updates from our source. I've got a few updates as well from Give Me Sports, Spurs, the Spurs Web, and also for Football Insider as well. So we are going to get through to that. Now, the first one is going to the bottom of the screen, but let's welcome a few people in first, and it will crack on. Big up to John68. Big up Dermo and Tequila and chat. What's the breaking news? The breaking news that Tequila's won the lottery. He's won the Euro Millions. He's going to buy Tottenham Hotspur, and he's installing me as the new in the PR department. He's putting James into the as chief tactical officer. He's putting Dave Harris as chief defender, a defense coach. He's put Jack Kanicki as the midfield coach, and he's also hiring Poch to come back now. He went to see Donald Trump, paid him $5.5 billion to release Poch from his contract. Trump was very happy with that. And yeah, we're going to win the quadruple. He's also said he's giving Poch $300 billion to spend on players. So, well done.
Thing is, you said that I won the Euro Millions. That'll buy me about what 1% of Spurs.
No, you won them in Saudi Arabia, which you can win about 16 billion. So
okay, we should all move over there then. They're paying that much for the lottery. Why are we doing the lottery over here?
No, the breaking news is bring it up to you in a minute, Giant. Big up. He says big up to Al Morgan 68. Big up Al Morgan 68. I hope you're doing well, bud. Big up to my big Irish brother. Big up to you, John Fitzpatrick. Big up to your brother. How are you doing? Well, says big up Dermot, everyone in the chat. Hope you and the family in Limerick are doing well. The way Richie scoffed that shot, it was lucky it went in. Yeah, he did scoff it, but it did go in. We did go in. And do you know what? I got into it a little bit earlier on the player rating show. That some people come in the chat saying, we were shit yesterday. We're going down. Do you know, I've heard enough numpties ringing up Talk Sport. We're going down, Tequila. I've taken the attitude is, do you know what? We're staying up. Do you know what? We're staying up. We ain't getting relegated. I'm going to take the positive out of the negatives. One fella rung up today, right? And he said, I'm fed up we lost because that idiot's still in charge. So he wanted his team to lose yesterday just to sack a manager. And I know we could all be frustrated with managers, but surely deep down, not even you want Tottenham to lose. You want us to get a result every game. I can't understand fans like that.
I can understand kind of where it's coming from. Whilst I don't ever want Spurs particularly to lose, I can understand about thinking about the greater good. Because if he feels like me and some others that the Forest game is the make or break, then
it is.
Then if that's reduced our chances of beating Forest by keeping this guy in charge, I can see where he's coming from. If you phrase it the right way, I'm not that against. I don't really want Tudor to be in charge of Forest, but our result yesterday means that he is. So, I mean, I'd be a bit hypocritical if I said I didn't understand where he was coming from, because I do.
I don't understand where he's coming from, but what I don't get, Tequila, is this sort of narrative that people want Tottenham relegated because Enoch will go. People want Tottenham relegated because it was suddenly wave a magic wand over the club and everything's going to be sorted. People want Tottenham relegated for whatever reasons. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand that. Am I stupid? Or
no,
just an older fan that doesn't get?
You're not stupid. No, you're not stupid. But those two things are two different things. Like if people say to me, "Oh, well, if we get relegated, Enoch is going to go," I think that's a silly thing to say, because they're not going to sell their prized asset for a loss, or they're not going to sell. Well, not a loss, but they're not going to sell their prized asset at its weakest. They're going to sell it at its strongest. That's flat out business. I'm not even businessman, then that's bloody obvious to everyone. You
Yeah.
sell something when something's worth the most, not when it's worth the less, right? So then
You're in
so
charge.
well, no, with that, looking at it that way, that's silly. But
Yeah.
I do understand why people are coming from that. It could make ENIC change their ways, although I don't think I'm not sure that they can. But if they ever were going to, it would be something like this that would force them into action. That is where I think that is coming from. Anyway,
I don't think even this is going to make them change their rates. Even if we went
then
down,
nothing ever will. Then
nothing's going to, because Simon, I'll get into in a minute what Simon Jordan said. I don't know if you saw it about him and Martin Keown. I don't know why that Martin Keown has a right to lecture Tottenham fans. That really starts it up.
He's ex Arsenal. He's always going to have a little bit of a
Well, have a look at his own club then.
Well, yeah.
Beat. John saying hi to you. Tequila.
Hey, mate.
Big up to you, John.
I
hope you and the family are doing well. Enjoy St. Patrick's Day. Are you going to the parade tomorrow? Yeah, it is St. Patrick's Day in Ireland. Tequila it's your first national holiday as an Irish. You're part of Ireland now, so you have to celebrate St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. It's a national holiday.
I don't think it counts though, since I'm in England, so the day off doesn't actually affect.
You want to see? You want to go to some of the Irish parts of England tomorrow? Everyone will be out drinking tomorrow. So, as an honorary Irishman, you have to celebrate tomorrow. Geeks is Irish. He's celebrating.
I thought that would be just a normal Tuesday in Ireland.
No, it's a bank holiday tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, we have parades and everything over here. We celebrate the man who took all the snakes out. He missed North London. He missed Arsenal. He missed the Arsenal part of North London. St. Patrick, you didn't do your job properly. You get. But God bless him. Do you know he was English? St. Patrick was English. St. George, St. George was German. I think St. Andrew was Welsh. And I don't know if Wales have got a Saint Tropez. I think they got a daffodil as a Saint Tropez. They couldn't think of a man, so they come up with a flower. Sorry, Colin, if you're watching with Celtic.
St. David? Is he St. David or something? Have I made that up?
No, St. David's English, I think. So basically, we've all nicked other countries to become as patron saints of our countries.
Why not? Why not? Why not?
Good evening, Nick. Welcome to the Madhouse.
Good evening, gents.
Look at them.
Good evening. I was going to ask you both. How are you both feeling after Anfield?
I'm ecstatic.
I was expecting a little bit more, because I was like,
look, we'll get into it. We will get into it.
It's a bit complicated because it's like I don't really want this manager in charge, and he's going to be for the biggest game of the season, so it's a difficult one.
Well, look, let's get through the chat and then we'll crack on with the news. Big up the Wayne Bono says, "Good evening, folks. Have I missed anything?" Yes, Nick's joined us. That's what you missed. It was a good point.
Sorry.
Absolutely. It's an improvement on no points. Could have had all. Yeah, we are going to talk about that as well. I am really pissed with VAR. Dermo, he's saying you won't have a drink tomorrow. It is the Pope Catholic. That's all I'm going to say in that one, John. Big up to Ed Elfan 01. Evening, Dermot and Tequila and Nick. Ready for Wednesday? Yes, I am pumped already. I can. All your match day preview stuff will be out tomorrow. Predicted lineup at 5 o'clock. 8 o'clock pre-match build-up. All your Atletico Madrid. Yes, we're getting ready for it. It's from a cold Hamburg in Germany. Big up to you. The Giant says to you, Tequila, I thought Tequila would install an AI manager at Spurs. You didn't think of that, did you?
Let's ask Skynet gets born, guys. Takes over Tottenham first in the world.
You talking about what was the name of that Ultron? We'll get Ultron to take over Tottenham.
Ultron. Daniel Levy.
How 9,000 or something,
Yeah. We'll bring Ultron in. He'll say Arsenal was not logical and he just get rid of the whole football club.
Just delete us. Yeah.
Just delete you. And Ed saying big up to you as well, bud.
Yeah, Ed.
Right. Let's start with a little bit of news. Right, let's start in the management news. Right, this is according to Give Me Sport tonight. Senior reporter for Fabrizio Romano, Tottenham's dream candidate right now is Roberto De Zebra. Now, also on top of that, I got news today as well for the people who use that Igor Tudor is likely to leave Spurs this month, with the club actively assessing both caretaker options and whether a permanent appointment could be brought forward. Now, we know we've got the international break, guys, coming up after this weekend's of Premier League, guys, football. And don't worry, yes, I'm covering both Ireland games as we look to qualify for the World Cup. I cannot wait. We're going to qualify. We're going to USA 26. We're going to take over America. Americans are going to become the new Ireland. We're going to have a bigger country, and we will deport Donald Trump to, I don't know, where can we deport him to? Serbia. We'll let him in the North Pole. We'll let him have that. Tequila. Right, I'll go to you first, then I go get your thoughts on this, Nick. Tequila, with reports saying De Zerbi could be our new manager, and the likelihood of Tudor leaving, might be leaving during the international break. Your opposition to a permanent manager is well known in this channel. But would anything this board do, would it really surprise you?
Yes, it would, because if they get rid of Tudor after the Forest game, I'm bewildered. I don't know other word to use. It would be the most stupidest thing. So either you if you're going to bring a new manager in, you don't wait until probably the most important game left of our season. You don't wait. You do it before, not after you give him the reins. Why is he going to be motivated if he knows he's got one foot out the door? I always think he wasn't going to be motivated much anyway. But why is he going to be motivated to do well if he already knows he's out the door? And you want to put him in charge of the game that could maybe decide our premiership status? It doesn't make. If you're going to do it now. Don't wait until do it now.
Yeah, I get you. I agree with you. I mean, Nick, look. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, bud. Sorry.
No, I don't get it. There's no logic. But then again, I don't think these owners have logic. I don't think that they understand logic. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, these owners are a bit like that green lizard monster out of Star Trek that goes wandering around, just wanders around. That's Enoch. But look, I get you, Nick. Look, I'm very much on the same page as Tequila. We should have got rid of him as soon as there is any problems. Get rid of him. Sunday is our biggest game, I think. I would say since we played you for the Champions League play, since I chased down for the Champions League game. I've seen Forest play a few times in the last few weeks, and that they worry me because they're having a lot of shots on goal, but they're not scoring. But Dr. Tottenham does normally turn up. Wolves. Who else, Tequila? Wolves. Fulham at home. Only 2 wins at home all season. Do you think Tottenham should have got rid of this manager before here?
I wouldn't have appointed him in the first place.
None of us would, Nick.
Just to put that out there in the beginning, I wouldn't have done it. De Zerbi, or however you say his name, I probably completely butchered it. I think is a potentially very good fit for Tottenham in how you want to play. There's you went from Ange high line to Frank's very pragmatic, and it was like what they did with Forest. It was never going to work going from one extreme to the other, and it wasn't ever going to work seamlessly for you guys either, because for the team that Frank would need to play his system properly, you just don't have that personnel there. And so going back to De Zerbi, he would have been a better fit to follow Ange. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And so you went to Ange and you finished 17th, which was an appalling league run for you. But you got the biggest trophy you've got since your league title, I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
And so, he delivered. And I would have potentially have stuck with Ange because it's almost like, could you have seen that through? I understand your arguments and your fears and all the rest of it. Then you went a completely different way. It was like, oh, no more high line. We're going to go all the way back, and you've got Frank. And it was kind of like, oh, that's a big change. And they suffered again. Every time it's like, oh, you've got to go through this system will change. And now they go, you could potentially, I wouldn't do Pochettino personally. You don't go back, Mourinho's second reign at Chelsea, whatever. You've done that. It was leave it to the rose-tinted romantic times of the past, move forward. And I think he would be, the way that you like to play football, I think he would be a really good fit, particularly when you get Kulusevski, Maddison, these sort of players back. He will be a really good fit for you. As to when you pull that trigger, I feel the way your decision makers have been going, it was like, I was surprised that they pulled the trigger before the North London derby. I thought they was going to let Frank see that out, let the noise erupt, then say, okay, we're listening to you, we've made a change. But they didn't. They made the change before. So it's a kind of, right now, can you afford to make another change before Forest, off the back of getting a result at Liverpool, but albeit a draw? I feel like you've got to stick for this match. You really do. As dangerous as that is, because what can a manager do in that time scale?
Yeah, I get it. And also with look, there is an international break coming up, so we do have a gap to do something. But Tequila, Nick is right, isn't? We are playing with fire. Nobody wanted this man in the first place, but he is here. Is there any upside to you that you see that can bring Eagle might keep us up? Or are you thinking if Tottenham don't make a change, we're going to go down? We might go down, or we might stay up by the skin of our teeth. But who do you, apart from Pochettino, who else do you want Tottenham to bring in the summer? Or is all your money on Poch?
I understand what Nick's saying and about you never go back. I mean, Mourinho did go back to Chelsea and win the title with them. I know he left again. Soon afterwards. But maybe if we were in a different place regarding the state of our football club, maybe it wouldn't be such a romantic kind of thing. But because we've had 2 seasons of a disaster, especially domestically, even though, we did win the Europa League, but domestically, it's the worst I've ever seen us. So I think Pochettino, I want him, not because I expect him to repeat what he did and have us fighting for the league, because I think that we're so far away. That's many, many, many years of recruitment, building a whole new team, many, many years we would have to spend to get back to that position, if it's even possible right now, like at all. But I just want a season or 2 of progress, goodwill, a bit of fun, back to my club that I haven't had. So I think Pochettino can galvanise the majority of the fan base. There's always going to be some people who don't want him, but I think the percentage is quite high. I think most of us would be okay, even if he's only here for a couple of seasons, even if it's just to stabilise us a little bit, get a bit of a good feeling back into the club, stuff like that. Even if it's only for a couple of seasons. Do I expect him to come in and have us winning champion, get into a Champions League final again? No, I don't. I don't expect us. And when it comes to challenging the league, there's too many teams who are way too far in front of us. And I don't even mean Nick's team, Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Chelsea are better than us. There's at least a Villa have more or less taken our place in the top 6. There's at least 6 teams that are miles and miles ahead of us when it comes to even getting into the top 6. So Pochettino's not going to come in and wave a magic wand. It's just not going to happen. If that's what people are expecting, then I think it's unrealistic expectations.
We do need a major.
I do feel, Tequila, that your squad, if you take the last 2 seasons aside, because I feel like there's a lot. I feel like they're a bit diva-ish. They down tools.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at the players in your squad, you are not bottom half of the table team.
Well, we're not
I think a Pochettino. Oh, I think you are. I will
No,
genuinely say that I'm an
I,
Arsenal
I,
fan. I look at your squad and I genuinely believe right now this squad should be top 8. And that's
no,
top 8 to 5th somewhere. That's where they should
I,
exist.
I disagree. I was listening to Simon Jordan this morning. And he had it right. We're not a top 6 side. We're not a bottom 6 side. We're sort of in the middle. And
Mid-table. Yeah.
mid-table, I think that's where we are. We can't fool ourselves that we think that we're a top 6 side. We're far from a top 6 side. There's too many inconsistency within this squad. This squad it's like going into hospital and you need a major heart surgery. This club needs a new heart. It needs a heart transplant. This squad, that's what this squad needs. It's a heart transplant. There's too many, as you said yourself, there's too many divas within this squad that were down tools. How many players have down tools under Ange? How many down tools from Mourinho to Frank to Tudor?
Yeah,
How
but
suddenly
this is
yesterday,
bad
sorry.
management. This is bad management as well, Dermo. Because even though I don't think that we're a top 6 team, you've said it yourself. We're not a bottom 6 team. So this is where the managers have to be held accountable. Ange, Frank, and now Tudor, they do have to be held accountable because all of our players are underperforming. I think I asked you the other day, which of our players are living up is living up to their potential? Name me one player, really. Archie Gray. It's a difficult one with him, obviously, because it's hard to know even what position he plays, let alone what he's feeling.
But every time I see that lad, he may make mistakes. He's young, but I see him playing for the shirt.
I thought he was brilliant yesterday.
As an outside perspective, that's what I see.
I thought Archie Gray. Did you see him yesterday? He was running around that midfield like he owned the play. I hate saying it. He reminds me of young Declan Rice. He was trying to run that midfield yesterday. He's got he comes from good pedigree. His grandfather and his father were decent players. There were no slouches in that midfield department. And somebody said it to me earlier this year. Somebody should take Archie Gray aside and tell him, get away from that muppet, Brennan Johnson. Because all Brennan Johnson was good for was standing in the video, smiling like a Cheshire cat and not performing at the weekend, which now we see he can't even perform at Crystal Palace. So I think we've got a good deal for him. But Archie Gray for me, Lucas Bergveld as well.
Yeah. Very good player. Very good player.
The
other one, I felt like we've signed a player that you probably should have signed. And he's on the move in the summer probably, and that's Norgard. I feel like Norgard, you need good solid pros rather than everyone has to be a superstar. Do you know what I mean? Good Premier League players that are going to come in and play, because the Norgards of the world are unspectacular, but they perform and they've got pride and they've got a bit of decent. Do you know what I mean? And you need a bit of that in your team.
We have none of it. You're right, Nick. We've got none of it.
We don't have any of it. Talking about squads, Tequila and Nick, do you know there was a little bit of news come out that a player was going around in the squad says, I'm off anyway. I don't care if we get. Yeah,
that's terrible.
True. Now, we didn't cover it over last week because I was waiting to get information on it. And I got a major update this morning. So I'm going to read you out everything, Tequila. I'm going to go with you first. Then I get your thoughts on it, Nick. Now, Tequila, there's 4 players. I want you, with your detective skills, I want you to weed out who do you think the player is. And forget about what you think. I want you to think, but with a clean mind, all right? Okay? No prejudging. Just think about it. Right. They are not related. They are not releasing the names of what it says was, have you heard anything about the supposed players saying they don't care because they'll be off in the summer if Tottenham get relegated? And this is what I got back. They are not releasing the name of the player for obvious reasons to anyone. But for what we've been told and what people are guessing, that all of this is guesswork. But they are linking it to the following players. Basuma, contract situation, inconsistent, rolling squad, linked with Saudi and European clubs previously, would have likely buys, even the Spurs struggled. Christian Romero, club captain, constantly linked with the top European clubs, Real Madrid, Serie A interest. Consider one of Spurs' most marketable assets could realistically leave if Spurs were relegated. If a player believes he's already has an elite interest, he might not fear the Championship. But all major fingers are currently pointing at this man, the PSG reject bin player, Morani, simply because it won't affect his career due to him being on loan and will return to PSG. Again, they are not confirmed reports. And look, and it goes on. Another name that was given to me was after his interview of Atletico Madrid. My AirPods have just died, so I'm going to quickly change my AirPods. Tequila, Inspector Clouseau, over to you, bud. And hope, oh, good, they're connected again. So, over to you, man. Is
I think the most obvious one would be Bissouma, but I actually don't think it's him.
No.
I think it's probably Romero.
It's got to be something.
you
It's
know
got to be a
what?
touch of arrogance to them.
I
think it's Romero.
I
Out
think
of those
it's
four,
Van de Ven.
out of those four, you think it's Van de Ven? Yeah, I think it's Romero.
After his interview last week, and we did read these quotes, but why do you think it's Romero?
Because I think Romero at least has come out publicly in his little outspurts that he's been very disappointed and disillusioned with how the club has managed the team. Mickey Van de Ven, it could be that a lot of them feel the same way, but Romero is the one who has, maybe because he feels like he has to because he's the captain. So maybe even the players have asked him to. I mean, we don't know. And Romero, I think we know that he wanted to go to Madrid. We know that he wanted to go to La Liga, right? And Atletico Madrid couldn't afford him. If they would have come in
contract then,
because if you want to earn more money, you're gonna take the contract then, aren't you? Because he knows that he can get out next year. If nobody comes in for him, right? If nobody comes in for him, right? And in Spain, the only two clubs who could afford him would be Barcelona and Real Madrid, and obviously neither one of them, rightfully so. I don't think he's probably good enough for either of those teams.
No.
So Atletico Madrid wanted him, but Atletico Madrid only were going to offer us 40 million, and that was never going. We were never going to sell him for that. So the option wasn't there for him. So of course he's going to sign a new contract because he's like, well, okay, well, I've got nowhere to go. You want to give me more money? All right, then. I'll take the money and then I'll try to leave next summer. And then obviously he's become so disillusioned, and rightfully so, on how we've gone about buying our recruitment. He's complained about it like as fans. It could be Van de Ven. Bissouma's too easy. It's obvious he's gone. This sounds like it's somebody you wouldn't expect, or somebody at least who shouldn't be saying these things. Nobody cares what Bissouma thinks. The guy's a laughing stock. So who cares about what he thinks? So I think it's Romero, and then I think Van de Ven, it would be my second choice. Out of those four you've given me, Romero is my number one, and then Van de Ven, I think it's one of those two there, mate. So.
Before we get into deeper, people in the chat do get up. So Nick and Tequila and Nick, people are saying Spence, Romero or Porro. That's a good shout, Porro as well. I wouldn't think Spence would do that, but I know he's got a bit of an attitude problem.
I thought it was meant to be one out of the four names you've given us, Dermo. You didn't say
Spence. It is, but this is what people have put into the chat. So I'm just thinking.
I think Porro will obviously feel that way, but I didn't think he was one of the four you were naming.
No, he wasn't. Yeah. He wasn't. Nick, where are you going with it? I mean, to say that in the relegation battle, I think it's sackable offence.
I wouldn't label a player on hearsay because I think that's a bit.
Yeah.
Because if there isn't that player, that's not fair. So what I would say is I think Tequila was succinct with a comment there where he was kind of like, they may feel like it. And I think there's probably, you could name 5 or 6 players that feel that way. But any player that's voicing that's abhorrent of any club. You just don't want, and it's that mentality that you need to weed out of your team. And if you did get relegated, it could be the blessing in disguise. You could, I think you sell some divas. I don't know what sort of prices you will get, but it's kind of like it's time for you to properly clean house. You've got too many players belonging to too many managers' systems.
Yeah.
You need to have good, honest pros that care about the club they're playing for. They might not have been Tottenham men before they signed, but they become Tottenham men once they've got the shirt on because they're good, solid pros. And that's what you need. There's too many players that are injured. There's too many players that go missing in matches. There's too many players that just make mistakes. It's all of these things. And it starts with, regardless of the ownership, it needs that the culture of your club changes. That these are the non-negotiables. When you turn up at the club and you take a wage, these are the non-negotiables for you to collect your wage. And that is that you train properly, that you are there and you fulfill your duties as a player, that you give your best on the pitch, that you're supportive, that you have the right attitude, that you do whatever it may be, that you're not late, that you do all of this sort of stuff, and you build that culture.
Yeah.
And that culture then has to be focused at winning. But I think whatever comes, whether you survive or whether you go down, it has to start this summer that the culture in the club changes.
It does. I agree. I mean, Tequila, look, we know the squad has a bad attitude anyway, and we've seen it in games, haven't we, where Tottenham players just have not turned up. Does yesterday's result, like for me, where was this team spirit in the Palace game? Where was it in the Fulham game? And then suddenly they turn up against Liverpool, and look, Liverpool are not having a great season either, to be fair. And we should have won the game, Tequila, yesterday. We know Van Dijk should have been sent off. We know Tottenham should have had a penalty. So maybe we could have got 3 points. But isn't it? I've always saying this as well, Tequila. We do have to back it up on Sunday, don't we? But if you got players in the dressing room saying this, doesn't that undermine whatever a manager's trying to build? That he's never going to get that sort of resolve from certain players, because certain players are thinking, well, if we get relegated, I'm off anyway. So I am not bothered what happens either way. The only ones that are going to hurt is us, the fans. We're the ones that are going to hurt, but not them.
But sometimes, professionally and personally, you need to clear your head and just get out of the situation. Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of these players are, because these lot of players, just like us fans, have seen the absolute turmoil over the past 2 years, both on the field and off the field. At the boardroom level, we've all seen it. And the manager change, you know, we're on our second manager of the season, and maybe even third if he ends up going. So we had Ange, and then they fired him. Then we've had Frank, and then they fired him, and then Tudor. It's a mess. And the players, although the players do live in a bubble, but they're also not complete idiots. They're not. They are smart enough to know kind of what's going on around them. It is not a very good place to. No. They'll earn decent money, and if that's all they care about, then by all means stay. And a lot of them will stay for the money. But if they care about their footballing careers, Spurs used to be able to improve players and sell players on, and we were a kind of a stepping stone, and we still are, but we end up ruining more careers than we do making them. So many players have come to us and just degraded. I'm not saying Romero has, and Van de Ven is an exception to the rule. There are exceptions, but more often than not, these players come here and their careers just suffer. So if I'm Romero and stuff like that, I don't, even though he's part of the problem and he has to take accountability for his own failings, because he is the one who gets himself sent off several times a year when he doesn't have to, right? So it's not like he's immune to criticism. It's not like he shouldn't take accountability, because he should. But if I'm Romero, I don't want to stay at Spurs. He couldn't leave last year because the right teams didn't come in for him.
I think you're right. I think you're right in that. And I don't think nobody could disagree with that. I don't think nobody could. The way we're a mess at the moment, we really are a mess on and off the pitch. And this is the bit also, guys, where I want to sort of take it a little bit. I was watching TalkSport this morning, as I always do, my cup of coffee, my cup of cappuccino. I'll get up, I'll put on TalkSport, and I always make sure I'm up for Jim White. Make sure Jim White and Simon Jordan are on. And Tequila knows we watch the same things, don't we, Tequila, when it comes to Simon Jordan and Jim White. We sort of send the same things to each other. And he said something today that everyone is blaming Daniel Levy. Now, firstly, I want to ask you, Nick, from an outsider looking in,
Mm.
or maybe you. No, I'll go Tequila first. I go to you, Nick. Sorry, because I know Tequila's sort of short on time, so I'll sort of come with you with this. With everyone blaming Daniel Levy, surely he wasn't the problem. He didn't have millions and millions and hundreds of millions to go and buy these players, to go and pay these wages. It was the Lewis family all along. So shouldn't people sort of start waking up and thinking, hang on a minute, it wasn't, okay, Levy wasn't an angel, but the main culprits are the Lewis family and Enoch. And they've caused this mess. Surely they should be, and also change for Tottenham have cancelled their protest for the Forest game. Reasons for her to get behind the team and make it like an Everton time atmosphere. We've got Billy coming on Thursday to explain why they did that. So are people pointing the finger at the wrong people? And like Simon Jordan says, Daniel Levy didn't have the hundreds of millions. The owners that caused the problem were the owners, and they're still here, and they're still causing the problem.
I think,
and I'm not defending Daniel Levy, by the way.
I think our mate Jordan is defending Daniel Levy.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. I think both things can be correct. I think they both can be, if I use the term villains for lack of a better word, right? They both can be. I think Levy was a problem. Whether or not he was the whole problem, probably not. But he was a problem amongst a bunch of problems. And it could be that he was a problem, and also the Lewis family are problems. And because they all kind of come from a similar stock, I think they probably all do have similar ventures, and they all had similar ideas about what they wanted to do with the club. They wanted to use it, turn it into a multimedia stadium, which they've done. They wanted to have all their redevelopment of the local area, which they've mostly done. And Levy was the one who was kind of managing it day by day. But Daniel Levy had a lot of his own problems. I'm sure in his mind he did the best he could. And if you look at his business acumen, nobody who's involved in business is going to say that Daniel Levy did a bad job. And I don't think anyone can ever say that. But I don't think I can sit on the same. I can't think I can say, Dermot, that Daniel Levy was the lesser of the evils. No, I think they were both. I think, if that, like I say, even evil's not the right word. The problems. Levy going didn't fix Spurs. That part is obvious to everyone. But that's not saying he wasn't a big problem. It's just he's been replaced with somebody else who's a big problem. Because they all needed to go. It's like cutting off. Yeah. It's like cutting off one of the legs and the arms. Yeah, but the rest of the body's still there.
So Tottenham's like that night out of Monty Python, and he's had his legs and his arms cut off, and it's just a scratch. No, I think the point where I was trying to go at with it was everyone was saying it was Daniel Levy why we didn't buy these players. It was Daniel Levy. But Daniel Levy didn't have the money. Enoch had the money. And yes, you're right. Levy did a lot of things wrong with our football club, and I totally agree with that 100%. But if you're trying to be fair, surely Enoch should share the blame as well, because they're the ones with money.
Of course they should. Yeah. But I don't think people ever blamed Levy and not Enoch. Normally it was Levy and Enoch, and I think that was the truth of it. And the truth is, we've got Levy out, but Enoch is still here. Yeah, they need to go as well. Obviously,
they do. I agree. What's your thoughts, very quickly? And no protest for the Forest game. Do you agree or disagree? Tara's saying it's disgraceful.
But because of the importance of the game, I do get it.
Yeah,
I do understand. Although I want the protest to go ahead, if they're saying that we need to be 100% together, right, and if this team needs the fans more than ever before, it will be for this game. This is the game we've got to win, Dermo. If we lose this one, it'll be such a tough ask. If we lose this one, we're not finishing above Forest, so that just leaves West Ham. That's as far as I think. If we lose to Forest, Forest will stay up, and then it'll be between us and West Ham. If we beat Forest, then we go ahead, and Forest are in the doo-doo with us. If Forest beat us, then it's just us and West Ham. Yeah. So
right, I know you got to pop off. You got to stream. I'm going to be off by 9, so I won't be on when you're on. But where can people find you at 9, bud? Arsenal.
I'll be on the play. I'll be on my play pouch doing the zombie game again before Com as well. Com will be doing some Resident Evil about 11:30, I think, 11 or 12. So I'm the opening act for him. So yeah,
Fair play. Okay. Well, listen, you will see more of me and Tequila tomorrow. We are on tomorrow. We've got play build up, so we will have done. But Tequila, I let you go and get sorted. Me and Nick will go on for another 10 minutes. Is that all right with you, Nick?
Take care, Tequila. That's all good, Dermo. That's all good.
take care, guys.
and
Have a good one, yeah.
And you, buddy.
You put your link in the chat, bud, so everyone can.
Oh well, I'll do it. I'll do it in a sec.
Yeah, I'll try to be off by 9. I promise. I promise.
All right. Have a good show, guys.
Take care.
Take care.
There is Igor going off now to find a player to play for him on Saturday. Nick, look, I want to say big up to Rosa as well. He said, "COYS, keep this 11. Keep Romero and Van der Ven on the bench." Absolutely agree. Big up Side Dancer. Big up Side Dancer. Look at him there. He's looking mean. He's looking, I want Forrest's blood. That's what he's looking at. Big up to your Side Dancer. Look, with Enoch and Levy and what Simon Jordan had to said, and there is a bit of where I do agree with Simon Jordan that Daniel Levy didn't have the hundreds of millions to go and buy these players, but he did set the structure within the football club. But surely it was Enoch that sent the structure. Surely it was them that said, right, this is the race structure. This is how much we're going to spend. And there was nothing really Levy could do. I'm not trying to not blame Levy because he deserves blame. And I'm not saying, but surely we need to look at it for what it really is now. And for you, where you want it.
So with Levy, I hear you. I think so. Well, first of all, Simon Jordan, he's going to talk from his own bias as a former owner, right? So, so he's always going to come from a certain point of view, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to Daniel Levy, he took the job, and whether it is a question of did he do a good job or not, what was his brief? Now, that's the thing. What was his brief? Was his brief to keep the club run to within financial health and deliver a stadium, this, that, and the other, keep the team relatively competitive? Well, if that was the case, he's ticked all the boxes, right? If it was a case of Enoch were the most important thing is winning, he failed miserably. Now, as fans supporting this club, putting your hand in your pockets, and you're backing it, do you think that the brief has been, we are focused on winning? I don't think that was the brief.
No, I don't think it was.
I honestly don't. There's now, as an Arsenal fan, there's been times where that hasn't been the brief for us either. We went from the Wenger starting era, right? And it was all about winning. And then it got to a point where Abramovich turned up and changed the financial landscape of football. And that had happened once we'd already committed to a stadium and we got knocked sideways. And it went from winning to survival. Yeah. And then from survival, we decayed because we weren't trying to win. We were trying to scrape a 4 rather than a 1. And if you miss a 1, you might get a 2nd or a 3rd. You miss a 4th, you might get a 5th, 6th, or 7th. And then we went to this period where we were owned by 2 people, Mexican standoff. Neither of them wanted to invest in the club because they didn't want to make it more expensive to buy out the other one for a valuable entity. So then we decayed even further. Then one gained control. And now it's been, we want to win. Haven't won anything yet, but we are still, I feel like you can see that we're trying. When it comes to Tottenham, do I feel that they've been given that brief? Do I feel like they have been said, we're going to win at all costs? I'm not so sure. So I think Levy has probably done a really good job compared to the brief that the owners gave him. So he was a part of the problem because he didn't turn around to the owners and say, well, shouldn't we be trying to win here? Shouldn't we be trying to do this?
Yeah.
And I think with a lot of the players that you've signed, what was the sales pitch that they were given? And then they're looking around and they're looking at the other sort of players, the quality of players coming in, or, you know, the constant changing of man. It's like, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I thought the project was. And they become disillusioned. And I think there is a case of that. And now the chickens have all come home to roost.
Yeah.
And I think it starts at the top. ENIC are number one to blame for the woes of Tottenham. But that does not give any other person employed by the club a get out of jail free card, because you are a professional and you're your own person and you take care of your own stuff. We go through stuff in our personal lives, but you turn up every day and you get your stuff done. You be professional.
Yeah, exactly. It's like doing this. I have to be professional doing this. This is my job. This is how I make a few quid every month. And I got professional doing it like you do it as well, like Bobby or Ali or anyone on the takeover, or me on here, or anyone else I know who's a YouTube creator. But these players don't care. But we turn up every week like you do in your thousands. And there was fans calling for Arteta's head. I still think he still needs to sack your manager, because I do think he's a Lego head. I actually have bought him today. Guys, I want you introduced to Arteta. There he is. In his nice little Ferrari suit. There he is. Bless him. But just one last thing before we finish off. On the VAR yesterday, Nick, I think that was a sending off in the penalty. Hacker, is it Hacker? Let me get his name right. Keith Hackett, who was an ex-FIFA referee and the former PGMOL
Premier League era
chief, said the Reds number 4 should have been sent off for denial or a goal-scoring opportunity. He also goes on. He said that UEFA got it wrong, not UEFA. VAR got it wrong.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Where are you on it?
It doesn't, listen, tribalism doesn't come into this. It doesn't. No. It didn't matter if that went against you or for you, like if that was your opponent, right? We majorly got away with one against Leverkusen. We got the softest penalty I've ever seen. Then we go into the match against Everton 0-0. And I felt that could have been a penalty. A lot of fans are like, you can clearly see goes down his foot. And I'm like, even still, I felt that would still be soft a little bit for me, but maybe that's more of a penalty. I just want to see transparency, accountability, integrity, and consistency. That's all I want to see. If it is wrong one game, it's wrong the next game. It is no kind of, and it's difficult because certain things are subjective. But I'm fed up with seeing the particular referee that goes on Sky and discusses the things, doing mental gymnastics to defend the current decision rather than holding up their hands and saying, we got this one wrong. If they turned round and said, okay, to the Tottenham fans, sorry, we got this one wrong. Sorry, boys, we did get that. We're only human. We make mistakes. We'll try to be better. Here's our apology. I think you all go, but at least you can see there's humans actually, acknowledging your intelligence, not trying to gaslight you and kind of go, but it's the fact that they do these window dressing shows, they do these mental gymnastics and nothing changes. And we're still dealing with appalling refereeing in the best league in the world. It's crazy what we are experiencing. It is crazy. And VAR is working. But the application of VAR by the people is absolutely appalling. And
it should be left to AI.
It's the same monkeys that are in the studio that's on the pitch. And it's all too interlinked and clicky.
It is. It should be left to AI, in my opinion. AI runs the offside. You see it does it. It should be left to AI. Leave it as that. Or don't use it at all. Just get rid of the damn thing. Go back to how it was back in the day. Have a set of rules that everyone can follow. Nobody can tell me what the offside rule is anymore. The handball rule needs to be completely changed.
I don't think they can do it, Dermo. I don't think they can do it. What was that FA Cup weekend a couple of weeks ago? And the
Yeah.
decisions that came out of it, like linesman, the linesman, when, you know, like you go, oh, that's offside, and it's a scramble around the goal mouth. I'm like, just put your bloody flag up, because someone's going to have an injury because you've allowed play to go on in a more frenetic part of the
That's
right?
the law, isn't it? If it's offside, you have to complete that set of whatever before you put the score a goal. Sorry, it's offside. Wait, it was offside about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
Well, years ago, it was straight up.
just straight up.
The problem is, I don't know what the handball rule needs to change. That's so complicated, it's unreal.
It's
I
ball
don't
to,
get
there
what the
is
handball
ball to
is.
hand. There has been ball to
Yeah.
hand that has been labelled handball. Because I think you can tell all of this. What is the position? It's like when you jump. Sometimes you do put your arm. You naturally do. And anyone played football, it's like if you block this hand. If you're sticking out your left leg, your left hand will naturally come down a little bit for balance and to put out to cushion your blow. It's instinctive. And then because you've put your hand like that and the ball struck it, oh, it's like, no, it's not. It's ball to hand. It's just that we've got so crazy with this, and everything's in slow-mo. That makes it look absolutely worse. I think if you can't make a decision within 30 seconds, don't make the bloody decision.
Yeah, it's when he goes over to the monitor as well. You know full well, every time they say go to the monitor, you know he's going to get
it. That is code for change your mind. We found something.
It is. I just, can we not go back to football? Can I go back to football when I watched it? When you and me watched it back in the day.
I miss being able to celebrate a goal straight away, because I'm one of those people. I'm now, is it offside? And I have to wait until the replay before I can celebrate.
I've done watch-alongs. I've celebrated, and then I've like, it's offside.
Yeah.
I am thinking. But listen, we are going to leave it there. I did promise the killer would be off. Nick will be back on the channel this week, hopefully, him and Brenny. We are going to, I think we're doing a Champions League podcast, and we will do it on here.
Oh, that'd be good.
We'll do a North London podcast back. It is coming back.
I still feel you boys could get a result, you know. I don't know whether you're going to win like a free. I've just got that feeling it's you all over, you know. You could pull out a 3-0.
1961. Look at 1961 and our first ever European game. What happened? Tara says, Dermo, what's the meaning of life? If I knew that, I'd be a multi-billionaire.
It's the experience. It's the process.
Let's process or not, whatever. Hackett was, of course he was. He was the Hackett in the Spurs game that gave us the penalty back in the day. I like him. He's a good referee. Nick, where can people find you, bud?
You can find me on the Football Takeover. I do guest appearances here. And you can also find me on page 187 of Reader's Digest.
There you go. Yes, we will be covering. Yeah, we are covering tomorrow. There will be predicted lineup at 5 guys. There will be the build up tomorrow night. Wednesday, watch along, and after the whistle. Thursday, player rate. At 1 o'clock, there's me and Dave at Irish Lads Talk Spurs. The podcast is back. 4 o'clock, there is player ratings. No show Thursday night. I'm having it off because I just want a night off. Friday, there will be a show. What am I doing Friday? There will be an Irish show in Ireland till we die. We're doing Around the Grounds, me and Mr. Brady. So we're going to cover, if you want to join us for that, a bit of football talk, Nick, you're more than welcome, bud. Then Saturday, we're doing the predicted lineup and the build up for the Forest game. Sunday, Forest, watch along, and after the whistle, Monday, player ratings. And then from Wednesday onwards, Ireland till we die goes into its own. It is the international break. All your Ireland build-up shows will be on there. Of course, there will be Tottenham update shows on here, but Ireland till we die will be going into full action as Ireland look to qualify for the 26th World Cup, where we start our playoff semi-final and final. And of course, the watch-along will be streamed live on here as well as Ireland till we die. So do join us for that. And then it's all back to the Premier League. But Nick, thank you for joining me, bud.
Oh, you're more than welcome, Dermo.
Look forward to you and Brenny joining me during the week. But guys, that is it. Hit the like, hit subscribe, or whatever you do. Back Chirpy. Chirpy the mascot is going to get us out of trouble. We don't need Tudor. We just want Chirpy the mascot. He's our manager. Come on, you Spurs.